Hello, Internet, and thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Cloud Native FM podcast. We're already half year past. It's 4th June 2026, and today we're covering a very brutal topic once again on this channel. That is the state of platform engineering AI intersection. We are half year past, so today we're covering a little bit deeper of how both ecosystems are evolving or reshaping together each other. The first half of 2026 confirms that AI is no longer a sidecar to platform engineering. And I can tell you that I love the phrase sidecar because of some of my passion and love for the service mesh. But it is the AI is now no longer a sidecar to platform engineering. It is now a primarily workload shaping how internal developer portals or platform are designed, how guardrails are enforced, and how team thinks about developer productivity, governance, and cost control. And today in this episode, we're talking about CNCF KubeCon EU and what the lesson we learned from there. We did a live stream on Cloud Therapist and Cloud Native FM. So you please go check that out because the links is available if you're interested to see what's happened there as well. So, and we also did a recap of the KubeCon as well. So these channels are very good resource for your learning as well. But in today's topic, we're covering how platform engineering and generative AI are converging in 2026. What KubeCon EU 2026 reveal about the future of AI-ready platforms, why observability and cost efficiency now include AI system, how AI agents are changing platform governance, and what platforms teams and AI teams should prioritize next. And that's a $1 million question for today's episode as well. So without any further delays, let's go straight to my wonderful guest from London, Richard Simon, Cloud Therapist co-host. Over to you, Richard.
Hey,
How's
Saeem.
everything doing?
Good to be with you. I'm good. I'm very happy to be your sidecar for today. So
Oh, that's
all
a
good.
perfect way
I'm
to.
looking forward to the chat.
Absolutely. Oh, great. And Richard, I believe we might be meeting again in another in a very short amount of time. We won't tell our audience what it is. It should be the surprise for our
Yes,
audience. But
yes,
but we can tell them like only one thing. We will be streaming again next
yes. We
week.
will be. We
Next
will
week.
be.
That
Yes.
you need to tune into our channel.
They need to tune in. They need to check out our LinkedIn posts. If I
Absolutely.
get a chance, I'll put something in my YouTube channel's community a post as well. But definitely on LinkedIn, check out our posts. So myself and Saim will hopefully be announcing that on Monday. And I think did we decide that we're going to live stream on Monday as well? I think we
I,
did,
I,
right?
bel I believe we should remain the
Yeah.
people a little bit kind of surprised or
Yes,
skeptical.
we're not
Like,
going to say what it's about and where we're going
yes.
to be, but we're going to be in our usual roles, shall we say? So Sam's going to be directing, and I'm going to be the field reporter.
Uh,
I'll be out and about in the field. I'll be at an event somewhere, and all will be revealed in our LinkedIn post. So check out, look out for those on Monday, hopefully.
Absolutely. And as usual, Richard will be actually taking a huge steps on the conference floor, and I will be intercepting them with few of the questions I have on the conference in mind. It will be a very cool live stream. That's a big thing. Like it's a very cool live stream. We're covering very in-depth episode topics on the live stream itself. Bunch of things we actually learned from the MS build that happened, I think, 2 days back. We're also
Yeah,
covering some topics from there as well. Particularly, we will see what the NVIDIA RTX Spark actually been doing as well. But that's the topic for the next week. And today's topic is very important. 2026, we are in June. We need to know our two skepticism, that is where the AI and platform engineering intersect together, and where are the cornerstone, they basically overlapping with each other as well. Like we're learning two technologies in a duplicate manner. Like we're learning in AI, we're learning in platform engineering. What are those use cases as well? But before we go any further, Richard, this is the football World Cup month
It
in
is indeed.
uh, and I know which team you are supporting. So that's not a question here. That's
Yes.
not even a question here. And but other than that, are you actually ready to actually see what's going on in this month? It's been a very football, is a big thing in the globally of the way of the
Yes.
audience.
Well, it certainly is in Great Britain. So, yeah, I think very much so. I will be catching um, the yeah, I will be catching some of the matches. Hopefully, I've actually been invited to one of the later matches to watch that somewhere in London. So that's good. And then the group matches, I think I'll probably be watching them at home with the children, so with my kids.
Oh,
So yeah, so hopefully we'll see how that works out. But I think the good thing is that there isn't too much discussion around the England team, and that's
oh,
good because I like kind of to keep it sort of a little bit open and mysterious
oh
and so
yes.
on as well. So I don't want to know everything. I don't want to know everything about every player and their injury report and and their sort of fitness status and things like that. I like to kind of keep it a little bit more mysterious and undercover. So that's good. And I think that normally translates to actually a good tournament for England. So we'll see.
Oh, absolutely. We keep the news aside, keep the people players are actually doing indulge in the activities, and then we see what they happen in the football
Indeed,
pitches. And
indeed.
but it's a month of the football, friends. You can let us know on the Cloud Therapist, Cloud Native FM channel, which team are you supporting as well, because
Yeah,
this is a
love to
huge.
hear from you guys.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. Might be in the near future. We know June is our super, super, super busy event of the year as well. Might be if we don't know as this moment of time, but maybe I can able to convince Richard to do a live stream. Might be semi-final or final together. We will see them. We can do commentary aside. I mean, we'll remove our technical hat to be a very much sports savvy kind of a commentator for the Cloud Native FN Cloud Therapy. I would like to do this, but I will see how I can convince Richard for that as well. But we
We'll
will try
see.
to do our best.
We'll
Yes,
see. Yeah, it
absolutely.
depends on where I am, but we'll see. Yes,
Oh, that's another that's a $1 million question. Where you are when we actually trying to actually
exactly. Yeah.
add those things as well. But Richard, let's go to the topic here because our audience might be interesting to see, because I think we heard some of the news in the AI and the platform engineering spectrum as well. I will cover some things for you so you can actually give me some sort of advocacy on that part as well,
Yeah.
because as of now in 2026, Richard, we did a KubeCon live stream, I think 2 days, and then we did a recap on both of our channels for the KubeCon as well. So we know we covered the very great amount of details what the event actually holds for this year. But as we're speaking, we know what's happened in the KubeCon as well. And the usually the CNCF write some support, some survey report for us. So that would be a very good engaging discussion for us. We look at the number and we can critique about those number as well. I think to state of platform engineering report volume 4 surveyed 518 practitioner and shows a clear pattern according to the report says. So the measurement crisis persists in the platform engineering. They say 29.6% of team still don't measure any type of success at all. And Richard, remind me of you for this, because we will be actually covering episode 6 sooner. The code to culture, platform engineering unpack for enterprises will cover these topic in very detail. I would encourage anyone who listening to this YouTube channel, Cloud Native FM, Cloud Therapist, go into the former videos, you find out some code to culture, platform engineering, unpack for enterprises. We'll
Yeah.
cover those topics as well. But let's
Yes.
back to the details here. The 29.6% of the team still don't measure any type of success at all. And I go straight to Richard on this thing. Richard, why it is so? I think these numbers are big.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's mainly maybe because people don't know what to measure. What is the actual sort of KPI? I do know that some emergent KPIs kind of started to appear around sort of what people should be actually measuring. So there is discussions around what the KPI does. But if you recall from episode 2, you may recall actually from episode 2 of Code to Culture. I did ask that question, and actually the guests that we had on episode 2 said we don't really measure that at the moment. So they were clearly in this sort of 29.6% camp, I think, in terms of not actually doing any any measurement at the moment, but clearly that's going to sort of change and may have changed by now, sort of already. So there's clearly kind of some way to go, I think, in terms of what the actual KPI is going to be. I think DevX seemed to be the top one on the list, certainly from some of the discussions that I've seen. That's kind of seems to be the primary KPI, so the developer experience. So we'll see whether that actually becomes the emergent one. I think it's maybe a little bit early days for for that 29% to make up their minds yet.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And I think I would definitely need to put a link in here on the comments for the episode you are referring, because it's highlights some of the very cool topics in there. So friends, you can go watch on this YouTube channel, Cloud Therapist. Here's the link for you. You can watch the episode because Richard covered this topic is very detailed in there. Like, we know in the platform engineering conundrum is measurement criteria is quite a complex topic. It's like, do you want to measure the platform in
Mm,
itself, the tools that actually been integrating in there, now the gen AI in itself adding on top of the platform, you do want to measure that gen AI success rate as well. The teams who are using it, they're not only the one team who are using the platform, there are many of them. So which
mm,
one is like how you actually, and then there's a question is we will definitely try to cover this topic in the future episode, how to design the measurement criteria or the success criteria for the platform in itself, because it's been a gigantic subject in itself. So but numbers are huge. I think people are now paying attention to the measurement success criteria. Previously I think they fall left behind with it, but I think now they're covering out. I think people are now negotiating it in another area. So on the Richard, once again on the platform engineering report as well. I will share the link here in a minute. The
yeah.
one the report we're talking to covering about here as well. We already speak about the 29.6% of teams still don't measure any type of success at all. I hope the number will be decline, not the exceeding point to it. Hopefully.
Mm,
So AI integration has become non-negotiable, with 94% of viewing it as critical or important, but critical and implemented are very different things.
mm.
Richard, number is 94%. This should be a debate between us. Why? So there's only 90. Why this number is 100%? AI integration has become non-negotiable, with 94% viewing it as a critical or important. My question is, what 6% are actually thinking about this moment of time?
I think probably the 6% were not asked. So actually, the
Oh,
94% is a 100% of
yeah.
those who were interviewed. No, seriously, I think. I mean, yes, AI has become, or platform engineering is becoming sort of AI augmented, as I think the CNCF puts it. So that clearly makes sense, and I think it's just useful just to go back to the Code to Culture series and just kind of dig through that a little bit more, because we tackle this, and we'll certainly be doing it in episode 6 as well. So depending on when you guys are watching this particular video or live stream, episode 6 will be out on the Cloud Therapist channel, or should be out by now. Saim and I are also going to be creating playlists for the entire series, because we've alternated the episodes on either of our channels. We'll be pointing to all 6 episodes on both playlists. So feel free to go to either channel and check out the entire series on platform engineering. But yeah, I mean, I think I think that's actually quite high already. And it does coincide, I suppose, like I said, with what the CNCF has kind of, been saying. In terms of kind of where it's coming in, I don't know. I mean, I think it's interesting. One interesting point that I picked up recently, this actually came up in KubeCon as well from some of the conversations I had online and offline, was the fact that you now have things like observability and AI ops also being discussed as a kind of part of the platform engineering umbrella. So whereas previously we've just said observability, whether it's AI or not, doesn't really matter. And we've said AI ops, and again, we've kind of separated those things. And now they're kind of under the platform engineering umbrella, which is quite interesting. So almost platform engineering has kind of replaced DevOps really as the sort of the umbrella point of discussion. So under those, we've seen, and we'll maybe look at it in a little bit more detail a bit later. Certainly, observability is gaining, things like AI agents, and then also AI ops, kind of the original AI ops is gaining GenAI as part of it, kind of what I would call a sort of a GenAI ops, if you like, to coin a new term. So that those two elements are certainly coming into the radar where platform engineering is, like I said, because platform engineering is kind of becoming the umbrella term. Those are appearing on the platform. So observability and AI ops or Gen AI ops are also appearing on the radar as well. So yes, I think those are being discussed and kind of in the same breath, if you like, as platform engineering. And I think, I think 94% is quite high. Most people, don't forget, this is a view. This is not actually something that's being practiced. This is actually people's perception or perspective. So it's kind of their POV on, should AI be there, and is it critical? Yes, it is. So 94% is quite high, considering last year I don't think any of this stuff was discussed at KubeCons.
Absolutely, 100%. And let me actually share, because all the links, so everybody listening to us right now, the links are available for these reports. If you go into the description, you can find the link in there. We're talking about here in this episode the introduction of the two episodes, on the two, like the report that CNCF and Slash Data put together on the platform engineering tool maturity, and one from the platform engineering organization from the Humanitech, who actually puts out these numbers as well. So we're consolidating all these because we are 6 months past. We're trying to cover like what is actually not us as a content creator, but what the general audience has been the perception around the AI and the platform engineering in the spectrum. So these links are available on the YouTube chat section as well. So Richard, here's another number. 73% of the platform team have integrated AI assistant into at least one developer workflow in 2026. So I think this is very neat number. 73% of platform team have integrated AI assistant, like they have GitHub Copilot, Cursor, Claude Code, and bunch of other likes. The list is going on in the report. So these are integrated inside their platform. So Richard, what's your take on this? Because 73 number is used. Like I think last time we did some episode talking about the conjunction, like where the wave of going of the AI agentic toolkit is going to be happening. Now the number is telling us that the 73% in 2026, according to the survey, it has already been integrating Copilot, Cursor, and Claude Code. I think we sooner hit the number more than 90%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's quite high. That's kind of, that's pretty much 3/4, right, of the people who are using it. I think the number in terms of AI assisted code generation and maybe even with things like Cursor and Lovable, maybe going with sort of being able to use those for um, code generation as well. The number was probably higher in terms of the actual code tools that are being used. This is kind of more, the AI assistant part of it. So where it's kind of assisting you with, code generation, building your code, and doing examples and things like that. So that's, I think, maybe slightly different. I think the higher number is actually the use of these tools for actually generating the code. This is the assistant tools. This is
Yes.
not the code generation side of it, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. These are the GitHub Copilot, Cloud Code, Cursor, the AI assisted tool in the category. I think the numbers is quite big in terms of the respondents saying that there's 73% of the usage in there. But Richard, here's another, like I think 88% of the respondents report regular AI use, primarily for the code generation, 75%, documentation for 71%, while 73% AI says AI plays a large role in organizational goal, and 90% expect it to transform into the future. So it's mean like it's not just for the code on the organizational daily basis. I believe now it's been generating in a more like documentation, creating, I think, some sort of marketing deck for the companies, some sort of the sales report as well. So the conjunction is now beyond the, it's going from the just the kid writing up the code to the where the organization actually for the usage are. Another need to discuss here is that the Gartner forecasted that by 2026, I think this is one of the last year report or the early January report. They said 80% of the software engineering organization will host dedicated platform team. Richard, this is is the question for you. According to the some of the things you have been covering and have been researching, is you see the number going to the same direction, like 80% of software engineering organization will host dedicated platform teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been asking this question for probably the last 2.5 years and kind of waiting to see, and certainly I've been asking it, I think, in every live stream that we've done where we've asked the likes of Syntasso and
Yes.
others. And I've said, have you seen has it flipped over the activities of that? And it's certainly, yeah. I mean, it's certainly, I think now is the time, and we're seeing that sort of ratio is now flipped to the other side. So definitely, it's starting to happen. It's clearly got some way to go, but I guess kind of Gartner would maybe quite sort of I think they're kind of pretty much there in terms of the numbers. And I mean, again, this is kind of a forecast. Don't forget, by
Yes.
it's not actual numbers, but it's certainly, we've seen a lot more of that. So more people talking about platform engineering than the kind of the classical DevOps approach, if you like.
Oh, absolutely. And I think from the report, if you look at the report in a quite in a numbers, like they say the last in 2025, these adoption is 55% to now the 80% in terms of the way they actually look at the data, the survey, to talk to the people. And now 80% you have been hearing about is that they have mandated the platform in itself. So I think this number in a growing in a shape as well. I think when the platform engineering initially started, there seems like same things in the table. Now the organization started to looking at it is a practicality of architectural consideration into the play as well. One other number I try to add here from the CNCF report in itself, that actually they are added with the CNCF slash data report, and they said 28% of the organization report having dedicated platform engineering team responsible for the internal platform. So the 28%. The
Mm.
most common IDP model reported by the 41% of organization is multi-team collaborating for managing platform capabilities, and 35% of organization report using a hybrid platform to integrate AI capabilities directly into their cloud native platform. So these are the number thrown by CNCF slash data during the KubeCon time as well. So the Richard, I think we spoke about a lot on the live stream. Do you think like these platform engineering and AI debates is going to the same time when we speak about the multi-cloud, the single cloud, the hybrid cloud approaches of doing these things together? So do you see some sort of patterns here in the industry we merge like this? Something there's a two parallel path going forward. We try to link them together and see the what's best match kind of good like for them. So what I see like some people try to speak about the hybrid approach of platform engineering with AI. Some say no, you have a different platform approaches for the both of them. Some say now you dedicated have a dedicated platform teams,
Mm.
and those actually gives infrastructure resources for the AI team to build upon. What's your take on the cloud waves with platform engineering and AI waves?
Yeah, I think developers couldn't care less what app, where their app's going to be running. To be honest, so
Yes,
I don't
absolutely.
think they're kind of really that concerned with that. Clearly sort of the approach that we had before with DevOps didn't really kind of fit in well. Where it was ironic that some of the things I've been reading recently saying um, DevOps was supposed to kind of put the developers and operations together, and it's actually what it's done is actually create a wall between them. And ironically, all the pictures used to depict the previous state of how things were between developers and ops teams, with an actual wall being between them, and the developers kind of lobbying their application over the wall to ops to take care of it. Whereas actually, and then obviously they were projecting that DevOps would resolve that and remove that wall, but actually it seems to have actually introduced that wall instead of
Yes.
actually removing it. So I think there's going to be a little bit of more refinement coming in. There's lots of stuff kind of around the CNCF. We've had people that we know, for the likes of sort of Colin, for example, who's kind of been part of the CNCF sort of groups and SIGs around platform engineering, where we still see a lot of discussion, lots of kind of wheels turning, lots of turmoil, I think, within that for these sort of standards to start emerging. I think we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I wouldn't say we're kind of out of the tunnel yet. We're still very much inside the tunnel, but maybe we can kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel. We're sort of heading in that direction. Some of these are forecasts and projections, so I'm not really going to kind of put too much of my sort of stake on them in terms of these being accurate. But I think as forecasts or as projections, I guess yes, they do. They kind of point you in the right direction, I guess, towards that light at the end of the tunnel. And the important thing is that it's kind of emerging as a legitimate thing to do in terms of platform engineering. Now, I still have skepticism, as I've always done, around platform engineering. I think I've made that clear enough times. If you guys haven't are not aware of that, we'll maybe point you to the right videos that we've done in the past where we've discussed this. I've certainly pointed that out in the Code to Culture series as well, in both episodes that I've done so far, and I'll probably do it again, reiterate it again in the last episode. So yeah, it's still kind of thing. It's still going. But the one thing I really wanted to go back to when you were listing out some of the other stats, the one that seemed to be missing, where you talked about kind of doing things, not just the sort of the code generation and so on, and the documentation, but also I didn't see any statistics around testing,
Oh,
because QA and testing, AI is doing, I think, quite a lot of work in that space, and I mean, if that works out and that's working for for the folks who are doing QA and so on, I'm all for that, because I know that, as well as documentation, probably are the two most boring things that you can actually do, when you're when you're developing a platform or indeed an app. And I've certainly been on that side where I've had to document things like that and actually come up with the tests that are dedicated to that application or to that platform that I'm building. And I've certainly had experience with that in the in the distant past. So if AI can help with that, and it can come up with those tests and make it easy, or maybe even inject things like some of the sort of testing and statistics within the application code, like chaos engineering type of sort of testing, where we kind of test for resilience and availability. I'm all for that, definitely.
absolutely. And you phrase a wonderful point, because I think we need to look at it. Is there anybody actually doing a research on that topic as well? Because the QA is a big part right now,
Yeah.
because a lot of the AI agent has been enhancing the capabilities, sometimes removing the anomalies from the code pipeline. Sometimes they actually build out a more pushing something into the production pipeline. So I know there's a huge investment has to be making in the QA side of assessment. And I think back in the day when we're doing development, a lot of the time we say, yes, it's very crucial to test the code from end to end, but who has the time to do this? We have
Mm.
the feature development problem. We have the customer queue is actually increasing all the time. So in terms of the shortage of time, we neglect the QA altogether. But I believe with the passage now, the time with the I think the QA has to be done right, because other than that, I think you have, rather than sophisticating forensic analysis after something bad happened, there's something has to be added in the pipeline that actually enforce those policies and see the code as well. I believe we need to look at it like which of the some of the organization really drilling into that. But some of the reports we have actually been talking about today given doesn't give us any flight number as well. So Richard, let me conclude this part, and then we go to the some very important topic to our conversation, because the $1 million question today is like, what should be the prioritization for AI and the platform engineering team in itself? Because sometimes they're overlapping with each other. Sometimes one has the priority, other is falling behind. So that's a very where we need to end the debate here as well. So just the very full numbers here for the report. The Gartner reports and the conjunction of all these reports is saying the gap between we have a platform team and our platform generally accelerate engineering is where or most organizations live in 2026. So I rephrase here because it's a very solid term here. We have a platform team, and our platform generally accelerate engineering is where the most organization live in 2026. And here's what make the gap dangerous: the platform with AI driven feature such as anomaly detection see 30 to 40% MTTR, and 76% of DevOps team integrated AI into the CI/CD by late 2025. We looked into look at the new numbers here, because the 76% rate is much higher, leading to the predictive automation. The upside is real. The team capturing it are real, but they have something most team don't: a platform mature enough to embed AI capabilities into rather than bolting them on top of as well. So these reports actually give us a very consolidated view of some of the numbers, but I would love to see some of the comments from the some of the listener who are listening to us, and give us what you think about the full. Are you happy with the numbers, listening to the reports? What's your skepticism in talking about those numbers? That's very crucial. So Richard, now we go back to the, because already 6 months passed, We covered some of the live streams.
Yeah.
KubeCon is a big event. We covered the KubeCon Amsterdam in there. We did a 2 day live stream, and you are the one actually been doing the very much duties of doing the field reporting as well. So I give you some of the number. I think 33. Every KubeCon is the biggest KubeCon ever. That's the trend is
Yes.
going forward. Like the 30,500 turned up to it. It's happened in Amsterdam, March 23rd to 26th. This, I think we have a platform engineering co-located event dedicated for that as well. During the conference, we see NVIDIA join the CNCF as a platform platinum number. They have also donated DRU, dynamic resource allocator DRA, for GPUs as well. And they committed $4 million over the next year to provide CNCF project with critical access to high-end GPU compute resources. So thank you, NVIDIA, for doing that as well. And also, I think if you look at, we invest a lot of the time. There's a course, ArgoCon, BackstageCon, Kubernetes on Edge Day, Observability Day, Agentics Day is a new co-located event that's been coined up during the KubeCon as well. We show some of the project being graduated. One of them is Richard is Kyverno has been graduated this
Yeah.
year, and that's a big thing. I think that's a huge thing. I think there must be a documentary coming up in a near future. How much work is being required to add that project into the
Yes.
project as well. But Richard, in terms of the, because we attended that event, in terms of, if I ask you, what thing we learned from these two paradigm, like AI and platform engineering? So what's your take on this from that event? What data we collected and what consensus we can build out, that how these two domains are overlapping or correlating with each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that did come out was Backstage kind of emerged as a default reference architecture, not just kind of ID as an IDP solution, but almost the Kubernetes of platform engineering, if you like. So it's kind of growth of that, and I suspect it will grow even further as we go forward. It'll be interesting to see what the messages will be out of the next KubeCon in the US.
Yes.
And indeed, it will be interesting to see whether they break the record of attendance. So far, the Europeans have done very well. So the London one in April last year and the Amsterdam one in April of this year have both broken records for attendance of KubeCon. Let's see if our American cousins can manage to continue to do that. But we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was, there were certainly a number of themes. Like I said, Backstage seemed to be one of those that kind of appeared as a sort of a standard, and certainly embracing, moving towards sort of it continued to grow and move towards AI sort of native, in terms of its features for the future, including MCP support and sort of deeper AI integration. And again, the State of Backstage, I think, event that was organized. I can't remember if that was one of the prior events or just a presentation that happened. The session was apparently quite full. The attendance for that was enormous. So that certainly emerged as part of it. You and I noticed that when we were live streaming, we saw a number of people introducing this kind of AI SRE concept. So where you actually have AI running as your SRE as part of your either platform engineering sort of solution or your observability solution that you may have. So this kind of concept of using AI as an SRE to look after your production environments. So that was part of it. I saw a little bit of around FinOps, but it wasn't really I mean, I think it had elements of AI, but it wasn't kind of hugely in there. It was just kind of having, open telemetry. There's a number of, I think, vendors who are basing their platform on open telemetry, which is, I think, quite good. That's kind of keeps it nice and open. And yeah, the the Dynatraces and the Datadogs of the world, I think, continue to embrace open telemetry. I don't think it's part of their core engine, but it's this support, I think, for it there. What I would like to see OTel do next is really tackle the AI aspect. I've not seen enough of that. Maybe it's there, and I'm not seeing it personally. So again, chat, if anybody's watching, let us know if they have done that. But I'd like to see more of that actually coming through in OTel. So that'll be interesting. So that's kind of the FinOps side. And then as we said before, and we've been, I think, banging this drum for a while now. Certainly, I've been doing it in Cloud State of Play discussions that I've had on my channel. Is the observability, gaining that sort of AI agent capability. Yeah, so that kind of fits into that sort of AI SRE type of approach. And then, as we said earlier, the other side being the AI ops, which I think has been as a separate thing in the past. You've kind of had AI ops tools, kind of your monitoring tools, have not necessarily been your observability tools. But I think we may see actually some of that sort of convergence coming in. And then as that happens, as I said earlier, AI ops gains GenAI and kind of becomes what I would call GenAI ops, if you like, to coin that phrase. So those were certainly part of it. We saw some curious projects as well in a new incubation projects in the Project Pavilion from the CNCF. So Holmes GPT, I think, was one that comes to mind again, and that seemed to be like an AI SRE basically, which you run that agent standalone. Presumably, if you're brave enough, you run that in your production environment, and then it hooks into your observability platforms, such as Dynatrace and Datadog and things like that, and then it allows you to take actions, remedial actions. So you might want to do some auto remediation. And in fact, I was using that term last year, and again, like I said, advocating for it because the likes of Gartner were talking about it. And then I saw an article the other day which actually used the same term. It said automatic remediation. So I was calling it autonomic remediation, but I think it's pretty much meaning the same thing, really. So those are, I think, the main themes I picked on. The usual sort of suspects were there, then from sort of platform engineering to Kubernetes distributions, OpenStack distributions were still around. Still can't believe that that's still happening, but there you go. Not my cup of tea, I have to say, when it comes to OpenStack, but there you go. So those were, I think, the main things I picked up on. I didn't really see a lot around sort of NVIDIA, and I'm not sure whether it's your quote there saying $4 million is correct.
Yes,
It might be $4 billion. So you may have just had a little typo there on that one, same. But otherwise, yeah, those were, I think, the main things, and everything else really just kind of chugged along. There was, everything else was pretty much the same. Although there were some new interesting, vendors in the showcase area. I think we've featured a few of those in our past live streams, the AWS live streams. So check those out on our channels, guys, as well as the KubeCon live streams as well. So Datafy and a couple of others like that had been very good. Our friend Guy Grudetzky was also on hand in those particular live streams. So again, I think a lot of those sorts of vendors are still sort of emerging, which is good. So that means the industry is thinking of new new things to work on, and new ideas to to come up with. So yeah, I'm all for that, but we'll see kind of what the next what the next sort of KubeCon
Yes,
is going
and
to
one
bring.
thing you actually
That
really
depends
added.
on
Yes,
attendance.
one thing you really added here is, Richard, is like I need to speak about the agent ops. So I'm already been pissed off with all the ops out there. So
Mm.
please do not add any more ops in there as well. But one
Yeah.
thing you really talk about, I think I actually added in the screen as well. There's something happening in open telemetry for the agentic world. That's great. We see some of the company unifying as well. I haven't heard about the open inference, what it does. We know about open telemetry, how it's a big thing for a lot of the observability driven tooling. I haven't heard about open inference. Have you heard about, Richard, open inference in the quite recent years? What they does,
Um,
what
Vaguely, I've not really had a lot of time on it. I have heard the term, but I've not really looked at it in a great deal of detail. Listen, I mean, the thing that certainly came out of all this sort of agentic, if you like, but agentic's not really sort of the thing to look at. It's really AI agents. And certainly with OpenClaw sort of coming out earlier this year, it's demonstrated that AI agents are actually for real. They're not kind of some made up marketing stuff.
oh,
But the thing that's emerged from that is really governance. It's really the concern around authentication and authorization, and it's very fortuitous that Kyverno has now reached sort of that maturity level and graduated, because we do need it for things like AI agent governance. If it
yes,
supports
absolutely.
that, then that would be, I think, one of the tools that customers can certainly look at for for governance. So yeah, my concern, and again, I've been advocating for sort of AI agent registries, for example, and we're
Hmm.
seeing pockets of that happening. We've seen Microsoft, with the Agent Foundry and things like that, announcing things like that. I think they actually put something out at Build, as you said earlier in the live stream. So that was that particular. I think there was a particular announcement. We'll try and find it and
Oh, yeah.
with the link. But there were particular ones that were around sort of agent security, and that's good. And I've seen other designs from IBM have announced things like I mean, they called it AI agent registry. It was like literally that term, those words were actually used in their designs, which is good. The one thing I haven't seen yet in that space is some kind of industry standard. That's what I'd like to see. Because if you do it with Microsoft, you're going to be stuck with Microsoft. If you do it with IBM, you're going to be stuck with IBM. If you do it, the
Hmm.
Hotel way or some other way, you're going to be stuck with that. So you can't kind of really, that flexibility of moving around and making that a universal sort of approach. I'm not sure that's still there.
Oh, yes, absolutely, 100%. But I think that that's good. But one thing is like we are just top of the hour, Richard. I think we on our YouTube channel, our pretty much focus is like we know the ecosystem is quite hard. It's been changing rapidly. Is nobody has a time full amount of data. If they live on the planet Earth, I don't think so. Anybody have a time to actually look at all of these corner detail, what it needed to entail for them. So what our YouTube channel is trying to do is like we look at the news circle from the CNCF ecosystem, the platform engineering ecosystem, the open AI, and the Anthropic. We look at the ecosystem and we try to cover the topic that really matters for the developers, the DevOps people, the AI native folks. So that's the aim of the game. Like we tell the viewers the transparent reporting on these things has been evolving and changing and enhancing with the move on from there as well. So Richard, so before we have only last 10 minutes left for the conversation, Richard, unfortunately. So tell us a little bit about what are some of the plans coming up for some of the viewers for the Cloud Native FM and Cloud Therapist YouTube channel in the future episode as well. One thing, we keep that a secret, but the Code to Culture series is sooner rather than later will be completed. Gladfully though, and Richard, there's some dance to it as well because it took a huge amount of time, or we rather deserve appreciation because
Yeah. Well, I mean,
team.
I think it's taken some time because we've been trying to, in the background, our sort of dear audience are not aware of the amount of logistics we have to juggle to get people's calendars and diaries to line up. So there's that. There's obviously we've been very busy with live
Mhm.
streams. I mean, I'm behind on things like Class State of Play, and I was actually saying that to my audience the other day in one of the episodes, and said the reason I've been late on Class State of Play is because I've been busy live streaming. So it's not like we've been sitting here not doing anything on the channels. It's just been we've been focusing on live streaming quite a lot because there were some significant events that we wanted to cover. The KubeCon Amsterdam fortuitously became a possibility for me to actually go and attend the event, which was great. And again, that was last minute in terms of organization and all the logistics for that, and lining up guests and and things like that as well. So so I think that's kind of we'll see certainly more live streams coming from us, so we'll continue to do that. We will be doing a review video, hopefully with Courtney Nickerson, who's been our co-host on the Code to Culture series. So we're doing a review with her, sort of looking back at all the previous episodes
Mhm.
of Code to Culture. So hopefully we will do that. Hopefully we'll do that as a live stream. We'll see how things go. We'll, Sam and I, obviously, need to decide on that. And yeah, lots more exciting. I mean, as far as Cloud Therapist is concerned, lots more exciting videos coming up, more class state of play, more AI state of play. So we'll be trying to catch up on the AI state of play episodes, and definitely at least one more new segment being added
Ah.
to the channel this year, and some really fantastic guests on that. So that's all I'm going to say for now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Richard, so remind me of, like, I think is big thanks to our co-host Courtney Nickerson for completing out our series as well. That's hopefully been completed.
Definitely.
And in the near future is like we definitely add another series
Mm,
on this year. Might
yeah.
be on GenAI or observability, but there should be another series coming out. And what the aim of the game is should be we try to speak with the companies, the co-founder, the CEO, the CTOs of the companies who's been developing the solutions. We try to speak with folk from the CNCF, the platform engineering organizations, and with the CI/CD organization to look to give the viewers a very complete 365-hour view of what the vendors are thinking, where the foundation is heading to, and also from the end user perspective, how they actually can accelerate their journey. Because at the end of the day, all these tools, the practices, the principles, the frameworks, the trends are their disposal, and they need to decide for their enterprise customers what to focus on because the ecosystem is quite gigantic. So
Yes.
so, unfortunately, we're top of the hour and hoping to meet you again on both channels, Cloud Native FM and Cloud Therapist, sooner rather than later. And it will be next week. What the day, the timing should be, it will be revealed for some of the posting we do in the social media. So please check that out as well. And also, if you happen to tap into that conference where the Richard is actually landing, so make sure to tell us. We might feature you in some of the episode, see a critique with you, what the things you have been developing. And if you have any solution, we're looking forward to add in our future episode as well. So I think we will try to cover in a future episode definitely what to build, measure, and prioritize in terms of the platform engineering and AI convergence. There's a six pillars to that that is quite lately coming up. One is inference infrastructure as in production infrastructure, agent identity before agent proliferation, FinOps guardrail at provisioning time, fix the measurement crisis, unify your pipeline, and own the AI infrastructure. So we will definitely covering the building, measuring, and prioritizing part of the AI and platform engineering interjection in the near future episode as well. Here's one sentence summary of the state of platform engineering and Gen AI at the half year report of 2026. The technology is ready, the platform aren't. And the team that close the gap in H2 are going to look very different from their competitor by the end of the year. 6 months from now, KubeCon NA 2026 will be happening. We will be live streaming again. We will be live streaming hopefully again. Will tell us whether the promise made in Amsterdam, one on agent identity, inference standardization, GPU governance, and platform maturity translated into the shipped production system. We will be there and we will do this again to cover if those promises are met or not. All the research recaps and resources referenced in this episode are linked in the description below. Every source is live and worth bookmarking, so make sure you can click on those links as well. If this episode was useful, share it with other platform engineering and AI infrastructure person on your team. That's the best thing you can do for this show and for this community as well. I'm Sam Safdar, together with me, Richard Simon. We're tuning from Cloud Native FM episode 126, 146, and I will be see you there once again in the future episode. And as always, thank you very much, Richard, for joining me on another live stream. I will keep you busy in this year, and that's my job. Have a wonderful
Absolutely.
one. Bye bye.